Welcome to a little corner of consciousness, where we embark on this journey of consciousness expansion together, one coherent step at a time. On a little corner of consciousness, we explore coherence, expansion, and frequency as we move deeper into our wholeness together. I'm your host, Stephanie Ablett. Welcome to the show. Hello, my loves. Welcome back to another episode of A Little Corner of Consciousness. I'm your host, Stephanie Ablett. Welcome. Come get close. Thank you so much for joining in. I had a tiny hiatus. These energies, my loves, holy shit balls. we are really being thrown all around right now. I mean, damn, it's been heavy. It's been a lot. Holy moly. I needed a few weeks just to root and ground in. I felt myself reaching for this need to put out stuff just for the sake of putting stuff out. And I really dislike that. I want this podcast to be helpful. I want to share real information. I want to share real insights. I want to share what wants to be shared, not to just create things to be consumed because of a timeline, because I need to put things out weekly. I personally don't function that way. I need to be inspired. I need to have a message that is moving through me that needs to be expressed. And that is when I create. That's how I work. And that's probably how I'm going to move forward with this podcast. So I'm sorry if it's not going to be a weekly thing. I will do my best to create when I am inspired and release it on a weekly schedule. But we're being called into deeper things, my love. We are really, really being called into much, much deeper things at this time. And I'm really feeling this massive shift that is moving away from this consumerist culture, this need to create, be relevant, just constant consumption of information and content and doing all the things. And I'm so fucking tired of it. I'm so tired of it. I don't want to be a thing that you endlessly consume. I want you to land in a space where you are welcome to root in, to expand, to explore ideas, philosophies, understandings, insights, intuition, where we're invited to be in presence, to be present, to observe, to slow down, to be conscious co-creators, to not just be a part of this endless consumer consumption machine. I'm so tired of it. And absolutely no disrespect to those that are able to stick to that structure. It's just not who I am. It's just not how I wish my soul to be expressed. And I'm going to honor myself more than a schedule. But aside from all of that, let's talk about these friggin' energies. Wow. So I'm recording this on the 7th of August, and today I woke up in different energy. The last couple of weeks, oh my goodness. Honestly, it was so heavy. It was so disruptive. It was a release of so many old matrix structures, old timelines, old identities, old frameworks, old structures that are ready to be dissolved so we can anchor into this higher frequency light that is being awakened within the earth grid, that is being awakened within us, that is the structural architecture of this reality. And yeah, today feels so different. Like so many things were released and dissolved, and we can have this expanded viewpoint on the other side. And on this other side, I really feel like there are some new perspectives that we are being called into that really have to do with depth, with slowing down, with honoring this new space of conscious co creation, this new space of awareness, this new way of existing, where we're kind of unplugging completely from that old matrix structure, from that structure that was holding this pressure, struggle, strive, all of these things that were forcing us to commit to this exponential, rapid pace of life, rapid pace of consumption, rapid pace of creation, rapid timeline, like where time really felt like it was rushing past us, where we couldn't possibly keep up with everything, right? That rushed pace of life that just doesn't work anymore. And it's tied to our need to consume, a need to fill a hole within us that can never be filled. As we are slowing down, as we are remembering ourselves as awareness and consciousness, we are remembering that we fulfill ourselves from the inside out. That no matter what is out there, having something out there and needing it to fill us will never fill that hole, because we must fill it ourselves with ourself first. Ourself with a capital S, our soul, our essence, our own divine nature. That's the wholeness that we're stepping into as we recognize ourselves as consciousness and as conscious co-creators and architects of this reality. We get to work from wholeness. And that is the reality that we weave. Can you feel how that just slows everything down? That there is no longer this rush, this need, this force, this striving, because you've already arrived. You're already whole, and therefore there's nothing to rush to. There's nothing to force. There's nothing to strive towards to fill something within you, because it's already complete. You're already complete from within. And so arriving at this space within allows our entire timeline and reality to begin to slow down again, where our whole pace of life gets to slow down again. Do you feel yourself being called into a slower pace of life to extract yourself entirely from this consumption culture, to tap out and just move to the middle of nowhere and start a commune and, grow your own food and live off grid and all that stuff? Do you feel that calling within you? Because we're really being called back into that ancient way of life that honors life itself and the natural rhythm of nature itself, of life itself, of the cycles, of the seasons, of living in conscious co creation with nature, with Earth herself. And that calls for a slower pace of life. But we're not just returning to that old way of being. We are returning with greater insight. We are returning with expanded consciousness. We are returning knowing ourselves as consciousness. I think it gets to be something entirely new that weaves together the ancient old ways and our new level of consciousness. And I'm sure that it is part of the greater cycles of the earth itself. It's just time to slow down, to return to that wholeness within, and to return to that divine connection. As consciousness and as conscious co creators, we are creating with the divine. And that means that we're stepping into our soul's work. We're stepping into that conscious co creation of what the divine is wishing to move through us. And allowing ourselves to create that from the greatest level of integrity, the greatest level of intention, the greatest level of authenticity and devotion. Like returning to the artworks of the ancient world that took lifetimes to complete. One painting that would be worked on for decades. Learning to slow down to that level. It's something that for me brings massive peace, a deep exhale to not feel that pressure, that constant, relentless pressure to consume, to create, to force, to strive, to drive, to meet some unknown demand of something external, to instead meet yourself at your soul expression and allow it to be expressed fully. To meet yourself as a vessel of the divine and to allow the divine to move through you in full intensity. True transparency. Like there's no part of you that is holding back. There's no part of you that is hidden to the divine. You are fully transparent to it. You are open to be that vessel and to just allow everything that you do to be part of your life's work, to work towards something that is contribution, not for consumption. A level of contribution that is inviting others into that space of slowing down, of gaining deeper insight, of gaining deeper connection to consciousness, to co-creation, to the architectural structure of reality and energy itself, to create from a space of pure coherence, of pure connection, of pure expression, and to invite others to that space to meet you there. Take, for example, my newest course, which is Sacred Geometry as Living Energetic Architecture. And I didn't create this course for more information to be consumed. I created this course so that it would help people connect with sacred geometry at a level that invites them to shift their entire understanding of energy itself. Understanding that sacred geometry is woven into the architecture of our reality and energy itself, of the energetic architecture of our reality. And that we're not just using this information out of interest. We're not just connecting with sacred geometry because it's the thing to do. We're not doing it for healing. We're not doing it to fulfill some deep need within. It's a call to connect with sacred geometry at a level that allows you to merge with it, that allows you to understand it as consciousness itself, and to want to devote your own intention, devote your own creations to that level of coherence. To want to co-create in this world from pure coherence. And I use the lens of sacred geometry because for me, in my own understanding, after working with it for a couple of years, is that it is coherence itself, and it is what helps us weave coherence into our reality, into our energetics, into our energetic structure, into our creations. It allows us to understand what it means to truly build from coherence, from thought to form. Because using sacred geometry through all the parts of the creative process helps you to build such integrity into the work. And it's just inviting you to see that everything is divine, that everything is this divine dance. And sacred geometry is divine design and divine consciousness itself. And when you choose to work with it, it is calling you to that level of depth and devotion and divine integrity. To want to create from that level of coherence, that level of divine devotion, that level of pure intention. There's something so miraculous and beautiful. And that is the level of connection and coherence that we're being called into. And so that circles back to this slowing down because it's calling you to create from such depth within yourself, from such depth of devotion and connection to God or to Source or to the universe, however you wish to call, label, etc., the divine, the all that is. Because it's so big, it's so massive, it's so all-consuming. It forces you to slow down. It forces you to envelop yourself completely in all of it, to embody it fully. That the embodiment is part of the expression of it in whatever you're creating. I don't know, the words aren't quite expressing the way that I am envisioning this energy, this unfolding of this slowing down, this deep dive into something so pure, so nourishing, so rich, so abundant, so vital. It's just that it hits you at this guttural level, this all-consuming nourishment. Creating anything from that level is just pure delight and pure contribution. Because the level of coherence that you create from, it delivers that level of coherence to those that interact with it. Whether it's a painting, a photograph, a course, a meditation, music. When you create from that depth of connection, that depth of coherence, that depth of pure expression, that resonance, that resounding resonance hits the receiver. at such a deep level that they are being nourished by it. And that is the level of creation that we are being called into on all levels as co-creators, as creative beings, living out as awareness and consciousness now. So how would that shift your own work if you gave yourself permission to stop following the rat race and other people's opinions of what needs to be created and how you're going to make money and all that bullshit? What if instead you tuned all of that out and tuned inward and remembered your wholeness and received fully from the divine? And what if you expressed what you received in fullness and allowed it to be slow, allowed it to be the full depth of what it is, allowed yourself to be in total coherence, devotion, alignment, inspiration with what it is, and created it from that place as an honoring of its contribution to the whole because it was received divinely. How does that shift and change your work? What does that inspire you to create? Let me know if you've been feeling this call, this need to slow down recently. If you feel that there's this whole new pace of life weaving its way through the field, through our collective. And the more that we allow ourselves to anchor into that, to create strength and integrity in that grid instead of the rat race, the rushing, the striving, the consumption, the more we anchor into it, the more structural integrity it has, the more it will weave into more of us deeper and deeper to express itself in greater ways in our reality. I absolutely love this time that we're in. And I just hope to inspire you to receive that richness of life, to receive that permission to slow down, to follow what wants to be expressed through you in total devotional presence, from pure coherence, from pure honoring the ways in which the divine wishes to express itself through you, that it will be valued, it will be a contribution. And contribution is met with a fulfillment of what is needed. All right, my loves, thank you so much for listening. I love you so much. If you want to learn more about my new course, Sacred Geometry as Living Energetic Architecture, you can click the link below or head over to my website and you'll find it there. It was created from a purely aligned devotional space for contribution, for fun, for depth, for coherence. All right. I love you. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next episode. Hello, lovely listeners. Thank you so much for giving your time and energy to this episode of A Little Corner of Consciousness. Now that you have received this transmission, give yourself time to ground it in. Allow it to land in your body and to move through your body. Let the energy move through your centers to your root and down into the earth. Bring it all the way down into the center of the earth and let the transmission become grounded, rooted, and embodied. And if you enjoyed this episode, please share. Please leave a review. Please download, follow the show. Help me to reach more individuals. And if you'd like to learn more about my work, visit stephanieablett.com. I'm sending you so much love. Until next time.